Hello, everyone. Good morning. And as special request, I'm here at the Bisimoto Engineering facility, and I posted up something on Instagram, a little tidbit about what I have going on with the Bisimoto projects for SEMA 2018. And the one in particular that I have is the Wagovan that I had years ago. And I was asked to please come here on YouTube and talk about it quite a bit. So here I am on YouTube, and I'll share with you why I built that setup. So I'm here at the Bisimoto facility, and it was really cool. It was something that was very interesting to build up to. So what happened? In 2000, I believe it was far back as probably 2008, 2009, I was approached by Super Street Magazine, and I was asked to represent them in an engine shootout, which is pretty cool. And it was an environment where, and we'll walk around the facility, by the way, as I'm doing this. It was an environment where each magazine, Turbo Magazine, Lowrider, Sport Compact Car, Super Street, there were a couple others. I think even, what was Honda Tuning, I think was part of, no, Honda Tuning. There's some other magazines that were involved. They escape me now because a lot of them have gone away. And what happened about this was we had this crazy engine shootout, and we were supposed to build the most powerful engine per liter. So take the horsepower, divide by the displacement, and whatever number that is, the highest number, ideal. So you would think naturally that building a boosted car would be cool, the way to go. But here's the caveat. The caveat was the engines would go through a torture test, oscillating from peak power to peak torque, peak horsepower to peak torque for 30 minutes straight on the dyno. Thank you so much. Thanks for the kind words, by all means. I appreciate that. So that being said, I knew what to do. My goal was to go ahead and build an NA setup because I knew that my NA setups were very reliable and they would stand the torture test without any problems. So that's exactly what I did. I built an F22A with all my stuff, and thank you so much. I appreciate that, Bryce, for the kind words. I built this crazy derivative on my own drag motor, and my race motor then I made like 409 to the wheels at the time, which is pretty nice. And this was going to be an engine dyno, so I detuned it to run on pump fuel. So it was a sleeve block, stock crank, ported head, ITBs with stage injection, and you could drive this from here to New York, from LA to New York and back, no problem. And I got to 360 horsepower, which is really great. I was very proud of that, right? We get to the place to do the test. They test mine. I get to 360 plus. I even did better than Cosworth, who was one of the magazine's chosen magazine people. And they did a VQ engine. I did more than them, which is pretty exciting. Horsepower per liter was much better. So what was crazy was that, of course, all the boosted cars did well. I think a guy had an SR20. There was a flat 4 Subi engine from AMS, and they ended up making 600. But the torture test was never done. So I was very upset about that we didn't have the torture test. So that being said, what did I do? I just dealt with it. And I asked the editors, hey, why don't we do this crazy torture test that you promised that we do? And they said to me, well, we didn't want people to blow up their engines, which is pretty sad, Thank you so much, Oscar. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna sit right here in front of the Odyssey, which is pretty cool. Okay. So guys, I should really get a stand to talk to you guys about this. It's much easier with a stand to do this. So let me go grab a stand, if you don't mind walking with me. So I had the opportunity to ask the editors what happened. They didn't want people to blow up their engines. So they said, we'll just do a quick sweep and that's it. So of course, the boosted people won. The guys from AMS came in first. And the owner of AMS, nice guy, he's an engineer just like me. Thank you so much, Shane. And he wasn't being difficult about it. He was being very gracious and understood. But one of his employees came to me and said, BC, what is the deal? Why would you even explore an NA setup in an engine shootout? That would be kind of silly. I'm trying to look for my stand. Where is it? Oh, here we go. My stand's over here. So that being said, I told him, hold on, guys. Bear with me here while I set this up nicely. We'll put this right here, so it'll be much easier for us to chat. And let's do this. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Now I'm on a stand, which is pretty cool. So let's go back outside. So I told him no, I built an NA setup only because um, I knew a torture test would occur and all the turbo guys would blow up and my setup would be nice and easy and be reliable. He said, no, you built that because that's all you know. Now, my roots, even though I do a lot of turbo stuff now, my roots have always been in natural aspiration. That's how I broke all my drag records and had a lot of fun. And I made mincemeat out of a lot of turbo build guys who raced at the drag strip. My, then high nines, then to mid nines, then low nines was much faster than a lot of turbo cars in the street class, which is pretty nice. And I told him, no, I did it primarily because I wanted something that was reliable, something that would be good. And he said, no, BC, you pretty much did that because that's all you knew. And I was pissed off. So guys, I'm gonna put this stand up here, so bear with me. There's some raw footage going on here. So please, please, please bear with me, don't be upset. Okay, one more. I have 3 more legs to put up on this tripod, and then we'll be good to go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now the tripod's down. Here we are. Okay. And it's very warm here in Ontario, so please forgive me, guys. Please forgive me indeed. Bring this down a little bit. Okay. Bring this one down. Just get some. Here we go. Okay, so that's what happened there, and he walked away, and I was pissed off. I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. Why is it that this guy's talking so much mess to me? So I went to Jonathan Wong, who was the editor of Super Street at the time, and I said to Jonathan, you know what, Jonathan? This guy just finished talking crap to me. Do you remember my bucket wagon that's at the shop? That rubbish Wagovan, white one with a dent on the side and the pink wheels, and that pink wheels was on there for a dare from my friends. And he said, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm gonna build an engine that makes the same horsepower as these guys from AMS with less displacement. I'm gonna put a 1.6 in it, and I'm gonna drive it every day and show them what is what. And he said, BC, if you do that, I'll give you 2 articles, before and after. I said, deal. 6 articles later, because they covered every step of it, my wagon came to life. And I remember Jonathan telling me, BC, your car is white. White cars don't photograph very well. You should probably try the blue of your CRX, which is almost a signature color for me. So I said, okay. So I painted it blue. And when I painted it blue, I'm like, oh my God, now the interior is nasty. So I had the interior redone. And then from then on, put the engine in. And the valve cover had to be nice. So I made the valve cover like an orange color. Just like a signature as well. And then the lines, I went to braided hose. And before you know it, it was this beautiful car. And all that happened just in sequence, which is pretty interesting. And the first time I put on the dyno, and just to give you some insight on it, thank you so much, Leonel. Oh, and to answer your question earlier on about head studs, I use ARP head studs, standard ARP head studs. And I use a copper spray on the gasket. I had Gonigo give me the sleeve block that was about 3 thou proud of the deck, so it can have more clamping forces around the cylinder. What most people see as head stud stretching is actually too much ignition timing, because the D-series heads are the combustion chambers are very small and don't need that much ignition timing for ideal pressure. 2 degrees before top dead center. Very small timing to get that kind of power, which is pretty nice. And that's on 91 and 50-50 mixture of water methanol with, I think I had a 500cc jet, which is pretty cool. To go more in detail with that, I developed this really cool camshaft, the level 3.6, that's very popular in the D-series world now. Anyone who makes big power uses that camshaft. And it was a camshaft that's painstaking to design, because you can't do lobe separation separately like you can on twin cams. You have to grind it in the cam. So it took quite a few months to perfect that. But when I was done, you had perfect spool. In power, which is pretty nice, you know? It was a lot of fun working with the Odyssey. It was great. It was great working with Mattel. Great guys. And as a secret, we may be doing a lot more, which is pretty exciting, right? Anyway, I digress. So long story short, camshafts, Bisimoto level 3.6, Bisimoto springs and retainers. I had Tom from Portfolio do my head, and we opened up the ports very nicely. A Gonigo intake manifold. I used 1300cc injectors. Let's see, a Bisimoto multi-layer seal gasket. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate the kind words, you know. I know they do discredit, and Brian, there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that in a moment. So let's see, Trom pistons 9.5 to 1, Bisimoto spec rods, factory crankshaft, which I did WCPC coat, which I'm very big on coatings. I used a Molly on the skirt, and the piston domes, I did use ceramic coatings on that as well. Let's see, I had some custom stainless steel valves. I think I used some, yeah, I think Supertech valves I used on that. Let's see, what else? Bisimoto cam gear, factory Honda belt, timing belt, Action 2MS clutch. I use Pure Oil to break in and Pure Oil as a fill. And that's oils, that is. And let's see, what else? AEM water methanol kit, AM Series 2 to control it, a ride wire harness. I'm trying to think. Axles from Insane Shafts. All the hardware that we use for the tubular manifold, the custom tubular manifold, was from Vibrant. Our own flanges, a 68mm throttle body, a Turbonetics blow-off valve. I think it was RG45 blow-off valve. No, RG45 wastegate, the Turbonetics Godzilla blow-off valve, and let's see, there's something else that I used that's pretty good. Oh, turbo itself. It was a twin scroll T4 6665 turbo from Turbonetics. You know, the gearbox I used was an EK gearbox, to answer that question. So I like the EK gearbox because of all the D series, they have the steel forks that don't break easily, and a Quaife LSD is what I had in that, which is pretty cool. And first time on a dyno, my wastegate spring was about 1 bar, about 14 PSI, and the stupid thing made 450 or 460 horsepower. It was crazy, crazy horsepower. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm onto something. And that same session, the first day that I detuned it, it made 702. And I was like, oh my, I lost my mind. That was it. And then I pushed it to 724, and I looked at my plugs, and it was a little speckled, so I kind of settled there and took away a couple of time, a little bit of timing. And I had knock and so on and so forth. I had a knock sensor on it to monitor it, because knock sensing is very important to me. And people lost their minds. And to answer the question that was asked of me before, this is the problem with being able to create things, you know? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Slug. I appreciate the kind words. I love creating, and with creation comes wonderful things. It has the opportunity for you to blaze a path never blazed before, to try things out. I get excited about trying new things. I get excited about the failures as well, because it allows me to learn and move forward. And then what happens after you experiment, people attack you. And that's the one thing I don't like. I don't see much of that in the Porsche world, because those guys are a bit more mature. But in the Honda world, people attack me a lot when I create something very different. And what happens is you create something that's exciting, people attack you and downplay it. Then they watch you, then they copy you. Then it becomes standard. So I remember everything from the adapter plate systems that people attacked initially and then everyone started copying, to the D series. When I did that, people flamed me. They destroyed my Honda Tech thread. And then after a while, people started building it. And now all the top D series engines out there have Bisimoto parts in it, especially our camshafts, which is pretty exciting. And so it's just the nature of the beast. So you start off very well with great intentions. You do something extraordinary. People call you a naysayer. They call me everything from a charlatan to a snake oil salesman to a liar, they call it all. And then after a while, they see the performance, and people start buying components and using it and seeing the same results, and like, oh, it's great, which is pretty interesting, you know? So that's what happened. And I drove this thing daily. It was so much fun. As you may see on my Instagram feed, the curve was pretty crazy. So with the Series 2, I was able to anti-lag to make it more fun. As normal, I had journalists drive it. I gave people rides when they came to the shop. It was pretty cool. Front-wheel drive only, so it didn't have the best traction, but when it was in higher speeds, I can easily, in 4th, 5th gear, floor it and smoke the tires. It was scary fun and awesome. Like, guys, I had a call come in, so hang tight and let me open the door for my guys. Hang tight. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. So I was talking about that slug. What happened with the wagon is I drove it daily, and then what ended up happening is people kept trying to steal it. So I'd go everywhere from the mall, Puente Hills Mall, to even the Arborson and Hacienda Heights, and I'll come out and see people around the car thinking they're admiring it, and I go up to them to talk to them about the car. Hello, Randy. Randy's the guy who does all the painting. He's gonna be painting the new one too. Anyway, I will go up to them and to talk to them about the project because I'm so proud of it, and then I see them with a Slim Jim. I'm like, oh my goodness, people are trying to steal this car. So that being said, I got tired of having to worry about her, so I ended up putting her for sale. And I put it for sale for a cheap price, $8,000, and people kept lowballing me. You know, typical Honda fashion. People lowballing me $2,000, $3,000, and I said, you know what, no. So I ended up parting her out, and then a little piece of her has been everywhere. It goes to so many enthusiasts and helping other people's projects. So she continues to live in many projects across the world, which is pretty exciting. But I miss that car so much, and missing it is what brought me to building this Odyssey right here that you guys have seen that's so popular. But I still miss the original concept of something really old school combined with modern technology. So with some support with my friends from AEM Induction and their insight and the guys from Hot Wheels, I have decided to build another Wagovan, even bigger and better, you know? Yeah, it gave me a start, Slug. That Wagovan was my first in-house turbo build and opened the pathway to every turbocharged project here. So what's going to happen now? I have a Wagovan, actually 2 of them back there, and we are going to recreate the wagon bigger and better and faster. So I don't want to give too much away, so if you guys want to see what's going on with the wagon, stay here on our channel. Tell your friends to subscribe, and we will continue to do updates, and I will share a lot with you every step of the way, and then we will unveil the finished product at SEMA this year, which is pretty good, you know? My pleasure, Slug, and thank you so much for your support, guys. I appreciate that. Once again, I'm here on this live feed because I was asked to do this by many of you on Instagram, so it could be here. So on the new Honda engines, Jonathan, it is fantastic. So great things about it, the engines are lighter. They create the power of a V6 with the weight of an inline-4, which is great. They're very robust. We're pushing SI engines, stock SI engines in 1.5 liters to 400 wheel plus, which is very nice. So we're seeing that, but we're seeing limitations with the pumps of the direct injection system. So there's some power limitations now, but that will come to pass, you know? So, thank you so much. I appreciate, you know, the support and you hanging on all these years. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Aaron. Appreciate that. So I think they're great things. The one thing I've noticed is that the castings are very thin, so you cannot expect to see crazy, crazy horsepower like we used to in the past without some significant modifications. So, guys, that's enough for now. My good friend Randy's here. I have to get to work. So hang tight, stay subscribed to our channel, and then we will have great updates to come. Enjoy your afternoon. Take care, guys. Cheers.